I'm guessing you clicked on this video because you want to design a life that is aligned with your true authentic self, your true goals, desires, and is fulfilling. But of course, often the most difficult part of doing that is actually knowing what you want, knowing who you truly are underneath all of the conditioning, societal pressures, other people telling you who they think you are, who they think you should be. And if we take the easy way out and just go along with the flow of what we think we should be doing, we're leaving our life fulfillment and satisfaction up to chance. I don't know about you, but I don't want to do that. On the flip side, when we intentionally expand our self-awareness, we can make better, more aligned life decisions, surround ourselves with people who actually support and uplift us, and give ourselves a fighting chance at actually building a life that we love. And so I'm of the firm belief that understanding ourselves isn't just a nice to have when it comes to the world of personal development, it's absolutely essential. It's the foundation that we build our entire lives upon. And so that's why in today's video, I wanted to share with you 9 tools that could help you improve your self-awareness. Little disclaimer, please know that not every single one of these tools is going to be the right fit for you. I do think there's something to learn from every single one of these tools, which is obviously why I'm including them in this list, but you are naturally going to connect with and get more value and insight from some tools than others. I know I definitely do. No one test is going to be the be-all end-all of your entire personality. I don't think it would be even possible for a single test to ever do that, and they all take a little bit of a different approach to trying to explain who we are. They come at it from a different angle. So try them all out. I'll have links to all of the different tools in the description below as well for easy access. Take whatever you find helpful and feel free to just leave the rest. Okay, tool number 1 is the Myers-Briggs type indicator, or also known as MBTI. And chances are, if you have taken a Psych 101 course, then you have probably heard of this before. Myers-Briggs is a personality assessment tool that will group you into one of 16 personality types, which are based off of 4 pairs of preferences. Those are how you direct and receive your energy, so basically if you're an extrovert or an introvert, how you take in information, sensing versus intuition, how you make decisions through thinking or feeling, and how you approach the outside world through judging or perceiving. When you are grouped into one of these 16 personalities, you'll get a 4-letter abbreviation based on those categories. So for example, I am an INFP. Taking the official test through the Myers-Briggs company is about $60, but there are also a number of free versions online that you can take. I'll link some of the top ones in the description below so you can do them. Once you know your type, there are plenty of ways to use this information and analyze it and spark some conversation with yourself, or use as journaling prompts to further expand your self-awareness. Knowing not just your type, but the types of the people that are around you or close to you can also be incredibly helpful for improving communication, understanding each other better, and dealing with any conflict more effectively. Okay, tool number 2 is the Enneagram. This is a framework of 9 archetypes that comes from a combination of ancient wisdom traditions as well as modern day psychology. Each of the 9 types have their own basic fear, desire, strengths, areas for development, and so much more. This system is so incredibly detailed and intricate and has so much to offer if we are open to hearing it. I actually have a whole book. It's called The Wisdom of the Enneagram. I'll link it below. And it goes into depth for each of the types, goes into so many different aspects, and there's just so much you could possibly explore and dive into within this system alone. I don't know if you can tell, but I really love this one for myself personally. What I love and what I feel sets it apart from other systems is that it does not shy away from calling you out. While most of the tools on this list will give you some inherent indication of what your strengths and weaknesses are, for me, the Enneagram has not only felt incredibly accurate, it is also the one that has forced me to look at myself, my shadows, those deeper, darker corners that we sometimes try to ignore about ourselves, with the most honesty. And that is such a gift, because once we shine a light on those things that we are trying to avoid or ignore, that's when we can really experience some really exponential growth in our lives. Tool number 3 is astrology. Now, unless you have been living under a rock your whole life, I am sure you have heard about astrology and the 12 zodiac signs before. This system is based on your time and location of birth, as well as the position of the planets at that time of birth. The super simplified basic version, if someone asks you what your sign is basically referring to your sun sign. I'm a Pisces, but there are all of the other planets as well as the moon. Not only that, but each of the planets are associated with different areas of life and different qualities. Now, I'll be honest, I am not too huge into astrology myself, just because I feel like there are other tools on this list that I connected with more and have felt to be more accurate. But I also have a friend who is obsessed with this stuff, so knowledgeable, and swears that it has changed her life. And so if you do connect with astrology, there is so much to dive into there, starting with your natal chart, of course, which alone gives you years of stuff to work through, but also things like astrocartography, learning about the moon phases, doing full moon and new moon ceremonies, and so much more. Next up, we've got human design, which, I love. This and the Enneagram are probably my top two favorites. Human design is a system that combines astrology, Myers-Briggs, the I Ching, chakras, quantum physics, the Kabbalah, all into a comprehensive system. Similar to astrology, it is based on your time of birth and location. Once you get your chart, you're going to know things like your type. There are 5 main types, and that's usually where people start when exploring human design. But there's also your strategy, your inner authority, your profile. It is a detailed, complex system that can feel a little overwhelming at first, so I would definitely suggest easing into it. But I have loved exploring my chart at deeper and deeper levels. What I like is that I feel like it goes beyond just surface level basic personality. It offers insight into how to use your energy best, how to make decisions, how to know when you're on or off track in life, your purpose and how you're meant to show up in the world, how you communicate, express yourself, things you value, etc. It is so rich in information, really practical and applicable to daily life, and I feel like it's one of the tools that has helped me implement changes and see changes in my life quite quickly right away. It's also given me a lot of permission to actually be who I am instead of trying to fit in or be a different type of person. The level of self-acceptance that this tool has given me has been amazing. Next, there is the High Five test. Based on positive psychology and maximizing your potential, it's focused on specifically helping you discover your strengths. I would say this one leans a little away from the kind of spiritual aspects of human design or astrology and a little bit more towards just personal growth and even professional development. It will shine a light on what you're great at, what you're energized by, what gives you a sense of meaning. The basic report is free, and then there's the option to purchase the more in-depth report for about $30. Next up, CliftonStrengths, also known as StrengthsFinder 2.0. That was the name for it before they kind of rebranded. Again, as you can probably tell from the name, this focuses on identifying your strengths and is more so focused on a professional and almost corporate kind of context. There are 34 strengths total, and the basic beginner's test will give you your top 5 strengths. This is unfortunately a paid test starting at $25, and there's also more detailed versions of the test like CliftonStrengths for managers or for students. There is also a book called StrengthsFinder 2.0. I actually don't know if it's still available because this is their old branding, and I bought this quite a few years ago now. But if you do purchase a book, make sure you purchase it new so that in the back they have like a little packet that gives you a link to do the test online. It gives you the access code with the book if you purchase that, or you can just purchase doing the test online by itself. Next up, we've got the Four Tendencies. This is a personality framework developed by self-help writer Gretchen Rubin, which helps you determine how you respond to inner and outer expectations. Now, that might sound like a weirdly specific thing to get insight on, but it is actually incredibly helpful to know this about yourself, especially if you are working on your productivity and habit building. She actually wrote a whole book about it called The Four Tendencies, and the book goes into a lot more of the nitty-gritty details about each tendency, how they operate, how to understand them, how to use that tendency to your advantage, what other people's tendencies might be, and how that might impact you, tools, strategies, techniques to use, etc. So if you are interested in setting up new positive habits in your life or breaking bad habits and essentially becoming a little bit more disciplined, but in a way that actually works for you, then that's the one for you. For tool number 8, we've got the 5 love languages. Again, unless you've been living under a rock, you have probably heard someone mention the 5 love languages at one point or another. There is actually a whole book written about it by Gary Chapman. You could also probably just like Google what the 5 love languages are and just think for yourself which one kind of applies best to you and which ones you prefer to show or to receive. But of course, the book goes into so much more detail in understanding each love language, why we have certain love languages, how you can show more care and love for the loved ones in your life by understanding their love language and interacting with them in that way. So if you're looking to work on your relationships, this is a great place to start. And finally, tool number 9, it's about knowing your dosha. Doshas come from Ayurvedic tradition, and they are actually more biologically based than all of the other tools on this list, meaning that when you are working on identifying your dosha, you are going to be considering factors like your skin type, how your hair feels, your body composition, your digestive tract, what kind of bodily issues or biological issues you tend to have. So for example, I'm a Vata, and that often means having a drier skin, being a little bit slimmer or having difficulty gaining weight, leaning a little bit more energetic and creative, but also it's defined by the element of air, which means be a little wishy-washy. What's cool about doshas is that it gives you so much more than just like a mental personality read that actually tells you information about your body, about your systems, things like the kind of foods that could be good for you, the kind of environments that are suitable for you. I'm not an expert on this by any means, and I have yet to kind of dive deep into this specific tool, but even just understanding the surface level, getting the vibe for what your dosha is, can be really helpful in just making sense of why certain things are the way they are in your body, in your mind, in your personality even. And so I think it's one that is definitely worth checking out. So those are the 9 tools that will help you improve your self-awareness, build a life that is more authentic, more aligned, more fulfilling. I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear if you had tried any of these before, what you thought of them, or if not, which one sparked your interest the most and which one are you excited to dive deeper into. If you enjoyed this video, I think you would also really enjoy another video I did about 7 books for self-awareness. You're a little bookworm like me, check that out. I'm gonna link it up on the screen here somewhere. Thank you so much for watching as always, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye.